How did the Meiji dynasty restoration change Japan's political and economic landscape? And Nirvana Shank says the Meiji restoration crushed Buddhism and old traditions. What happened? How did it change society? So what is this Meiji restoration? Did it really crush Buddhism and old traditions? The Meiji restoration was a coup in Japan. It was essentially a takeover of power from the emperor by a bunch of bureaucrats, by a bunch of officials. But they did not kill the emperor or depose the emperor. They turned the emperor into a figurehead, into a puppet. They forced him to eat beef. The emperor was a teenager with very little power. So the bureaucrats turned him into a puppet, and they unleashed what is now called the Meiji Restoration, which is named after the Meiji emperor, even though he was merely a puppet in the hands of these officials, court officials. So Japan has a roughly 2000 year history of a syncretic culture. Shinto and Indian culture mixed together. The Indian culture is mainly manifested in the form of Buddhism. But you will see every Indian god being worshipped in Japan with Japanese names. Saraswati is Benzaiten, Ganesha is Kangiten, you have Kuber, you have Lord Shiva, you have Bhairav, you have every Indian god worshipped in Japan through various local names. And all of this is portrayed as being part of Buddhism in Japan. So for at least 1600 years, close to 2000 years, Japan practiced a syncretic form of Shinto, which is the native culture, and Buddhism, Hinduism, which came through China from India, and which also syncretized beautifully with the local culture, because both are polytheistic systems and both are super compatible with each other. Now, and the samurai class of Japan was Buddhist class. They abhorred beef. They would never eat beef. For 1,000 years, no Japanese ate beef. Beef was taboo, just like in India. And the samurais were mainly vegetarians. They ate some fish. And they were you could say the Kshatriyas or the Rajputs of Japan. Not the Rajputs, the Kshatriyas of Japan. They were the warrior class. And they held the real power in Japan. So the Meiji Restoration was about destroying the system of the samurais. First of all, that was the first objective. And what the Meiji Restoration did, the officials who really had the real power, they brought in Americans to train the troops in Western warfare methodologies. They brought in gunpowder and guns and machine guns, those Gatling, those primitive Gatling guns and all that. And they started employing a whole different set of tactics and strategies compared to the samurai who were steeped in ancient tradition. And then they wiped out the samurai. So the entire power structure of Japan was made to disappear, and all the power then became concentrated in the name of the emperor, but the actual power lay with the court officials. That's first. But the samurai were Buddhist, so you had to attack Buddhism also, right? Otherwise, the people there'll be social issues. So then they tried to portray Buddhism as a foreign religion. And they tried to destroy Buddhism. Did not work. Buddhism, they could not uproot from Japan. Did not work. But what did happen is that because of their efforts to destroy Buddhism, today Buddhism is looked upon in Japan as a foreign religion. A religion that came from outside. It's a Japanese religion. It's practiced by lots of people. But it's a religion that people in Japan today see as something that came from outside, came from India. Before the Meiji Restoration, it was seen as a purely Japanese religion. So that's what it did. So the old way of life was destroyed. The samurai tradition was destroyed. Buddhism was now regarded differently. All power was concentrated in the figurehead of the emperor, but it was actually wielded by his officials. And that gave rise to the Japanese imperial era, which ended with 2 American atomic tests on the people of Japan.